happy wife, happy life. Um, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. What if I told you that being the nice guy is going to get you in trouble? Being the nice guy is going to get you in trouble. And if you're in a relationship as a nice guy, sorry, it ain't going to work. It's going to be very, very, very difficult. And here's why. Most women have been with some type of bad boy, right? They've been with a guy who didn't meet the, the parent, go to meet the parent material. But for some reason they chase after them. There's just something about that life that women enjoy, is meeting some guy who's got some type of rougher edge or whatever the case it is. But that bad boy is just too bad of a boy for them. And what ends up happening to that woman is they end up getting cheated on. They end up getting abused. They end up getting taken for granted. And just not taken care of. They're not taken care of as the woman that they should be. So then through their hurt and their pain, they go and look for a nice guy, right? And what is the nice guy? To them, it's the opposite of the bad boy. But what ends up happening is that nice guy gets it taken advantage of because he's constantly giving, which again, nothing's wrong with it in its proper perspective. He's constantly giving, doing everything that he can for her in every possible way, breaking his back for her. And is it always the right thing to do? Well, you be the one to decide that. So after all this, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we can talk about it, because I'm sure some men out there understand being the nice guy right now, what that looks like. So the reason why I say being the nice guy in your relationship is not going to be helpful, because one, it's not as cute as you think. It's not a cute look for you. And honestly, over time, it's not going to be a cute look for the spouse or whatever. She's going to look at those things very differently, because she's going to be looking for someone who's willing to step up to the plate. It's not as effective as you think it is, right? Being nice, and because you say yes to everything, give in every situation, and just allow her to be, whatever she wants to be without any remorse, man, it's going to tear you apart. Just telling you now. I know you guys have probably all heard this term before at some point in time. Happy wife, happy life. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Happy wife, happy life. Who came up with that in the first place? If someone can show me somewhere in the Bible that it says that, I would change my tune, but I'm pretty sure it's not in there, because happy, not everyone's going to be happy. Okay. It's not going to be. There's going to be times where you're not going to be happy, and that's through correction. You get corrected sometimes. It doesn't make you happy. Correction makes you feel some type of way. But over time, you start to understand, and then that correction was necessary, but it didn't make you feel happy at the time. So happy wife, happy life can't truly apply the right way and in every situation, because as a husband, you're supposed to be able to correct your wife. You're supposed to share with her, give her instruction, and help her become the woman that she needs to be, to walk in the purpose that God has for her. So it can't always be a happy situation. It's just not going to be. She's going to feel some type of way if you're really being the leader the way that you're supposed to be. And that's why being the nice guy, it won't last forever. It's going to end up hurting you. And so really understand this. That persona, that mindset for yourself, it will destroy you. You will be broken. You'll be trying to figure out, I don't get it. I'm giving to them. I'm doing everything I can. I'm sharing with them. I'm buying them whatever they want. They can go and do whatever they want to do. I got them this. I don't get it. Right. You don't get it. And you think that's what's winning her. No, that's what's making you lose her. And it's not helpful to be that kind of guy. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up cracking in some type of way, or she's going to end up leaving you. And you don't want that, right? You don't. If you're married, you never will want that to be the case. She would talk with you 1,000 times, hopefully, before she left you. right? But that's the thing, saying yes to everything, and it's just going to hurt you. So don't do that. You have to set clear boundaries with her, yourself, and really stick to those things, because if you don't know how to set boundaries, I'm telling you, you're going to get walked on. You don't want that. You do not. No healthy marriage allows for anyone to get walked on at all. And I'm sure, men, you've dealt with this before, where you've been walked on, you've been taken advantage of, you've been abused, mentally, verbally, whatever the case it is. But so has your wife. She has been too. You were not perfect when it came to how things went in your marriage, right? And I mean, that's what you're dealing with now, or you dealt with that before. So if you haven't set boundaries with your spouse, then just know it's going to be a difficult walk, because she's not going to receive from you 100%, because you've allowed her to do these things for so long. And then now, out of all this time, now you want to try and tell her what to do. Now you want to try and step in and be a husband. Now you want to do all this. So she's going to remember all those moments, and she's going to use those against you. And that's why it's so helpful to set the boundaries early, right? And even if you haven't, it doesn't mean that it's too late. But if you're going to do them, you have to be consistent keeping the boundaries. You have to be consistent keeping those things in place, right? It's not always easy, because, sometimes you love your wife, you give in a little bit, and sometimes you can't. You just can't do it. And guess what's going to end up happening? She ain't going to be happy. She's not going to be joyful at the fact that you decided to say no to her for something. And then now she's got to deal with that frustrating part of you being mean, and she never gets what she wants, even though it's like, look, no. You guys have goals and she wants to spend money? The answer is no. You already know what the goals are. You guys have talked about them. So why would you go and allow her to spend more money on something that's going to set you back on your goals? She may not understand it now, but she will understand it in the future, when that house comes through, or that car comes through, or that ring comes through. So again, happy wife, happy life. Okay, well then you're not going to get what you're looking for in time. So that's why I say be careful with that. Also, when it comes to the other part of the relationship, there's 3 different ways you can communicate: passively, aggressively, and the other way, which is what most people don't really do a lot of, is just being assertive, right? Assertively. Now, assertive communication is like the sweet spot between the passive side and the aggressive side. But the aggression usually shows like a whole demeanor. Your chest is puffed out a little bit more. Your vocal cords are came from from your stomach, and then it portrayed out of your mouth, and your tone, your eyebrows, your face, all that stuff comes through with the aggression and how you communicate. The passive side is your chest is sunk in. You're a little bit way softer in your communication, and you're more of not setting the tone, but your wife sets the tone for the conversation. You just kind of agree with her and say, whatever you want, baby. Women usually call them men chumps. The ones who get too aggressive, uh, they're not soft enough. So there's that sweet spot, right, that they're looking for. And that sweet spot is a man who's assertive. Um, Being assertive is very necessary, but being aggressive, it isn't. Nobody wants their spouse to be mad, like I said before, but it has to happen from time to time. That's what honestly real love is. If you love your wife, sometimes you're gonna say no. God, in general, He doesn't always say yes to us. Sometimes He corrects us, and when He corrects us, it's truly through that correction that we know that He loves us. And so, as us being husbands, it's the same thing for our spouses. We're not going to always say yes, because that means you don't care. You just don't. And so being the nice guy, you just want to say yes and give, 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 give. Uh, it's not the right way to go. Be assertive. Set the boundaries for you and your relationship, and make sure you stand on those. You might have to deal with some things internally. You might have to deal with some of the back talk from the missus for a while. But if you hold fast to your boundaries and you stay assertive with it, then eventually she'll just start to understand. Um, and especially if you have a plan in place on how you're trying to get your family to a new level in life, she'll see it in time. You're the one with the vision. You're the one with the idea. And so sometimes you got to say no for that long-term success, right? It's even like denying yourself of certain things, right? The self-control, the self-awareness, all those things are very important. So the more you're willing to have the assertiveness and set those boundaries within your home and not always try to be the nice guy, eventually you end up winning and become not just the nice guy, but you're going to be the loving guy, the man who truly loved his spouse along the way. Um, and then once you have everything, then go ahead and just spoil her with everything she deserves because she worked with you on those things. So, anyways, if you're the nice guy, I'm sorry. Got to change that. It ain't going to help you not one bit. You end up losing everything you want. And, but again, comment, let me know your thoughts. Hopefully this helps you, and we'll talk soon. All right, see you.